Hello and welcome to another edition of the Mint 66, still yet to be named Employee Engagement Podcast. I am absolutely delighted to be joined by the wonderful Morgan Williams from PKHub. No further ado, let's get Morgan introducing herself. Hey Morgan, please tell us all about you.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Morgan Williams, and I am the founder and CEO of PHR. It's a pioneering HR consultancy and training company focused on building community, courage, and practical learning for the new era of work. Specialized in inclusive, impactful HR leaders, offering both cohort-based programs for practitioners and consulting services for organizations, looking to scale with intention and authenticity.
I think you've said that once before. I love that. I love that. So I'm so pleased we're getting to talk on this podcast and recording it, because we've now been talking pretty much most of the year, and we've had some great chats. I love talking with you, and I'm super excited about some of the things we're talking about doing together next year. It's going to be great. But I'd love to just dive in so we can get some sound bites to share with people that are going to be listening to this, because I know how passionate about the employee engagement space you are. We've spoken so much. So let's kick off.
Yeah.
We obviously share a great passion for progressive workplaces where the employees can thrive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on what you're seeing out there, what sparked your motivation to sort of double down in this space, and what are you seeing that needs to happen for the workplace, in particular in your part of the world where you're based in the USA?
Yeah, what I would say, I think we're seeing a huge divide in both employer and employee trust. Employers are not trusting their employees. Employees are not trusting their employers. And so when we talk about engagement, when we talk about data, when we talk about, it's very interesting, right? Because both of these populations rely on each other. Like, we need to get the information so we can engage you. But if you don't trust that there's going to be information done with that, it's creating this interesting problem. And so I would say for me, my background is in psychology, sociology, and I have a master's of dispute resolution and conflict management. So this is all up in my space because I'm super interested about it. But I think it's also coming at a very pivotal point, frankly, in America. You know what I'm saying? To what we are dealing with, the distrust, the RTO, all of those things combined. I don't think it's an isolated thing. And so I think that's why it's compounding. But that's what has me super interested in it. And it's also really interesting because usually you don't need one or the other to kind of make a solution. In this, they actually both literally need each other. And so when you don't have trust there, it's a way of, how are we going to find the middle ground? How are we going to improve this for one side or the other? And you need trust to get there too. So it's super interesting for me. I could talk about this all day, as you know, but that's the stuff that's driving me for this, right?
I couldn't agree more with regards to seeing the trust being eroded. We have to do our best not to make this a political discussion, but the world has got so much toxicity at the moment, more so than we've probably ever seen. I've got a few years on you as well. Certainly, I've never seen anything like it. But when you talk about the trust being eroded, both from an employee and an employer perspective, outside of the current political climate that we all experience and probably all suffer from, just because it's bonkers, quite frankly, has this been going on no longer than maybe the last 2-3 years? And before we can start blaming political influence on people's views, what was already starting that trust being eroded? What's the mentality from an employer's viewpoint? What's the mentality from an employee's viewpoint? And where are you seeing the direction of travel of that going at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's actually combined. And the reason I would say that is because before, employers really didn't have to utilize employees in the same type of way that they needed to. So they kind of got to reroute things in the way that they wanted to. They could set the rules and either you had to do it or do something else, right? Because in America, where are you going to get your insurance from? Where are you going to get all of these different things? So many things of our ways of living are tied to work. We have changed that so much, and it's been a gradual change with the freelancing, with the fractionals, with the consultancy, to where people are saying, I'm opting out of this. I'm opting out of a controlling system to where, these things are happening. So it's not for me just political. We are talking about people trying to take decisions over their rights. I mean, in America, some of the things that can completely change is I can work at this company, at this address, and then next door have completely different benefits, if at all benefits, So when people kind of understand their choices and their agency, it allows people to do things. And I think people got to see that for the really first time COVID, sitting down with it, because we were forced to go back. They saw the money that they were saving. They saw also how quickly people said and companies said they can't do things, but all of a sudden they could. And that's, I think, a part of where trust erosion had already started. There were questions that people saw, but then they saw how quickly you could do it if you needed to do it. So now when they learned that they had agency and powers, I think that's where we started seeing the RTO issues. You know what I'm saying? And then it's, oh, well, we want y'all back for community. What community? Do you even know what's happening in the office? And that's the erosion as well, because it feels like you're lying to me. Just say you want me back there to be in the office. People can accept and trust that, but don't tell me it's something else, especially if I don't trust you. So that continued to erode it. Then it's, you don't come back, then you're going to lose your job. Well, that feels like a threat, very much so. And I'm helping you make money. But you let this other person do it. And so it's compounding the things. And that's not even bringing in COLA, which is cost of living, you know what I'm saying, adjustment. We haven't had that with inflation being super high. And then we're talking about AI. And so I also think there's a component of that also scares employees. If you want me to come in and teach you my job, are you doing this to lay me off or not? And so it brings up a lot of things is where they do need them to understand of how to engage them as well as to get some of the work done. But we're in a place where people feel like you're going to just replace them as soon as you can, or that you should just be grateful to have a job. And that's actually not how our economy runs. They do need the workers,
100%. Funny enough, I was at an event this week, and I did a short talk to the audience, and in all my years of experience, and I think it holds true today, it doesn't matter what systems you have in place. The success of a business comes down to its people. Failure of the business comes down to its people. And no matter what tech you bring in, and by tech I'm talking AI. Let's bring AI in a little bit later on, but
yeah, of course.
The reality is we still need the people to utilize the benefits of AI. AI is not going to be replacing every job that's out there. So with that in mind, I don't think there's ever been a time where it's more important for the employers to understand their employees and understand their motivations and understand their needs. And I think
Absolutely.
that's globally, yeah?
Yeah.
So if we identify that as a problem, if you're telling me that the trust is being eroded and we know the market is becoming so much more fractional, people have taken that choice, as you say, but it's not for everyone.
Definitely is not.
It's growing, certainly not for everyone. And still the vast majority want and need to have secure employment. So with that in mind, what are you advising your clients within your business at Peak HR to do to be able to get better engagement with their people in order to make sure that they can have a workforce that can thrive and deliver and hopefully become profitable for the benefit of the business? Because if the business benefits, they can keep employing people.
Absolutely.
Some win-win. So yeah, what advice are you seeing? We've identified the problem. What do companies need to do to engage their people?
I think we're at this point to where CEOs may have gotten so far, especially in America, we've gotten so far in a wage gap as well as the difference in pay. And I don't think they understand the everyday realities. And I think, honestly, a really good question to ask a CEO is, how much is a grocery bill for a single mom? Yeah, I think people can't relate to that. And so I don't think that they understand how absolutely insane. Some of their requests are the things that they're asking because you have this life of luxury, you have these things. And so I think a part of it is one, engaging the people that are actually there and understanding, what does this pay do for me? Instead of saying, well, I give you this much money and do you know what this buys me? Not much. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we have to be honest and actually get to the door and understand. I think sometimes people don't want to see that. I think that is the reality of it. I think sometimes you like being cushy and you don't want to see sometimes what is happening underneath there. But I think if you really want to engage your population, you have to know. That is going to be how you understand. Also, stop trying to think about the things that are important to you. Just because it's important to you, you live a vastly different lifestyle than most of your employees. What is important to them? You may be able to pay $3,000 for healthcare. They can't. There's different things, and you need to understand what's motivating them. And I would say that is going to be really important from a psychological, aspect. And also, this is also how you get your engagement and how people feel felt, heard, and seen. Stop telling me what I need. You don't even know me. We haven't taken enough time, to understand my needs, my interests, anything. Please get to know that,